What's up, guys? Magic Lever back today with the new Dark Magician support. So, I'm actually going to be talking about only two of these cards, which is going to be Gaze of Timaeus and the Dark Magician Fusion Monster. So, all in all, Gaze of Timaeus, I printed these out, by the way, for readables for your sake. So, you're welcome. Also, I'm going to be using them for testing as well. So, Gaze of Timaeus has a quick play spell. Uh, Good that I can use that on my opponent's turn. That is now searchable. It is now a searchable Eye of Timaeus. We have been begging for this for years. Now we have it. You target one DM or DMG that you control or in the grave and fusion one of your Dark Magician fusion monsters that mentions that card on it as material by shuffling that card you control or that's in the grave back into the deck and then fusion summon that fusion monster from your extra deck. But you banish it during the end phase of the next turn. So make sure to remember that. But you can get around that if you make SP and then, say you make Dragoon, use your Dragoon to negate and then tag it out with SP and, depend on your other cards to support you and defend your life points so you don't die and then come back next turn. Your SP will tag back in with your Dragoon and it won't be permanently banished like it would be if you were to let it be permanently banished with Gaze of Timaeus. So there is that. Now in a pure DM deck, I don't think you would care because you could literally just keep making Dragoons, which is absolutely freaking hilarious in a pure DM build. That's freaking hilarious, and all you have to do is worry about banishing your Dragoon, and that is freaking hilarious. You could literally search for Gaze of Timaeus with Rod, and you could summon the DM fusion monster and search Gaze of Timaeus that way, and you could literally just special summon Dark Magician the monster with from the main deck with the souls. I'm getting into you know where I'm going. I'm going straight for DM. Anyway, this card 10 out of 10. Now this card is the card we did not get. This is a altered card that I edited myself. This is the card that we got. This is Dark Magician of Destruction, a dark level 8 spellcaster fusion effect with 2800 attack, 26 defense. Requires Dark Magician plus a lighter dark monster if you're going to fusion summon it, which is great because it's a super poly target and an easy target for our deck to make. It must be either fusion summoned or excuse me. It must be either fusion summoned or specialed from the extra deck by banishing a level 6 or higher dark spellcaster you control during the turn a spell card or effect was previously activated. You can only special summon Dark Magician Destruction once per turn this way, no matter which method you use. Now that's kind of a redundant effect here. I've got something in my throat. I do apologize. That's a redundant problem-solving card text needs to be added here because, I guess taken away because that's a redundant phrase. You can only special this card's name once per turn this way, no matter which method you use. So you're saying I can only fusion it or specialing it using its special method, but I can only summon it once per turn that way. Okay, so any other time I can just fusion it as much as I want, right? But it says no matter which method you use, so I can only fusion it or I can only special it once per turn. So why not just say you can only special summon DM of Destruction once per turn, period? So that way it's pretty simple. You either fuse or you special. That's it. The rest of the fact is this card's name becomes Dark Magician while face up on the field or in the grave. I'll get back to that. If this card is special summoned, you can add one Dark Magician or one card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, which is really good. Now, the reason I wanted to point out, I'm going to get back to that, is this card's name becomes Dark Magician while face up on the field or in the grave. As you know, you just banish a level 6 or higher, make this card, search the Gaze of Timaeus, activate Gaze of Timaeus, target this card because it's Dark Magician, shuffle it back into the extra deck, summon Dragoon, or whatever other Dark Magician you want. You just can't summon Dark Magician of Destruction with its own effect with Gaze of Timaeus because you can only special summon it once per turn, no matter which method you use. So if you fusion it, you can't do that if you specialed it, and you can't special it if you already fusioned it. That's already in its effect. So why not make it simpler and say you can only special it once per turn because fusion is a special summon. So getting back to that, its name becomes Dark Magician while face up on the field. Why put or in the graveyard if it's not going to be usable in the graveyard? I mean, yes, you don't always have to shuffle this card back into the deck. You can use this as material to just pop out a Dark Magician and use this card as Dark Magician and fuse something else to make something else, and this card goes straight to the grave. Well, it says it must be either fusion summoned or special summoned from the extra deck. So to fusion summon it, it has to be from the extra deck, unless you use some weird card effect to fusion summon it from the grave, which is weird. Or banishment, I don't know. Or it must be specialed from the extra deck. So generally, it has to be summoned from the extra deck. So what's the point of it having the name in the grave if you can't use it with Eternal Soul? I think that's an intentional design flaw. So here's what I did to fix it. I literally kept the card the exact same. I fixed the problem-solving card text, and I put at the very beginning, must first be either fusion summoned or specialed from extra deck by its own method, blah, blah, blah. You can only special summon it once per turn, period, because a fusion summon and a special summon, they're both special summons. So there you go. So that way, you can summon this card. You can then search a Dark Magician spell. You can play the Gaze of Timaeus, shuffle this thing back into the extra deck if you want. Or if you already control a Dark Magician, you can target that Dark Magician or the one in the grave, shuffle it back, summon Dragoon, and then you can keep this card on the field as a beat stick, or you can remove it by using it as material because it's Dark Magician, or using it as Xyz material because it's a level 8, or whatever. And then that way, if it goes to the grave, you can just revive it back off of Eternal Soul because it's no longer required. It's already been on the field. It's already been properly summoned. It goes to the grave. You revive it back with Eternal Soul on the next turn. Not this turn because it must be first, and then you can special it by other methods, but you can only special it once per turn. So that is the limiting factor. You can't keep removing off the field, reviving it, removing off the field, reviving it, and using its effect to keep searching your deck. But having more search cards for the deck is good if you're going to be playing pure DM. And I think if they're making a Dark Magician deck, this card needs to be worded like this so that it makes the deck a lot better. Not just having a one-trick pony that does one thing. If it gets negated, that's the end of your turn. Unlike Blue Eyes here, Blue Eyes has many one-card starters, and if you stop one, they just go to the next one. The only way you're able to stop Blue Eyes is with pretty much there can be only one. that straight up just stops the deck. Spoilers for the guys who haven't figured that out yet. But yeah, that's going to be it. Which one do you like better? Do you like the OG, the one we were given? Or do you like my redone did better version-ish? Yeah. The original, new card. Original or new card. Vote. I'll put a poll. Original art, my art. Original or mine. That'll be the original or mine. All right. Make sure to go vote on that. I'll put the poll up. But yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to reach for 500 subscribers by the end of this year. And as always, keep it real. Peace out.